Good morning, everyone. In today's video tutorial, I will show you how to combine some of the indicators that you all have available in this video. In particular, the one we presented in the previous video. In short, the VLC, and the one in short that colors the candles, the anchor lean reg, and obviously in short, the assistant with the levels. So let's start from there. The modification I made is to the anchor lean reg, where I changed the input. How did I change the input from 71? At the end of the strings that in short are provided with the service, here they come. You always find them, here they are. These two values, 71K, are 71,000. It applies to, let's say, a more intraday strategy of short-term swing, if instead I wanted to have. In short, the volume regression channel set on the volumes, in short, daily, therefore, with a broader vision. Obviously, I go to replace in the input. Instead of putting 71,000, I insert the second value, that is, yes, it's simple, 608,000 lots that are in shorts, okay? And we obviously have the channels drawn differently. These are the channels, two channels. In short, starting from Thursday. So this is everything from Friday. In short, starting from 9 in the morning. A channel that certainly helps us identify the day and understand a little bit what the trend might be. In short, from the early hours of the European morning, in short, in this case, this cut occurred. Perfect. Besides this, of course, we will present another one that you all have available, which is the trend reversal, which is this one you see here. In this case, we can also set this one in the same way, or, as I showed before, with 71,000, which is this value here, the first value, or with 608. Obviously, we will have a different view. This one that I have set here is to have a short-term view, and so it is set to 71,000. If I were to change it to 608,000, okay, we will see an adjustment, okay, of the median line, which slightly modifies the entire reading of the regression. But in this case, let's say for how I wanted to show you the way to take advantage of it, we set it to 71,000. So with the first value that you find at the end of the string to have this shorter reaction. Here, in the legend, you obviously have the value of the regression, whether it is above or below zero, the dark one in this case. In short, at this moment, since the market is closed, the closure had become negative again. Besides this, of course, we proceed to insert the VIX indicator, for which I found a new setting, in addition to having to daily input the minimum range values and the max of the VIX string, so it's something for premium users. In short, I invite everyone who wants to take a complete path. I believe it's the least to do. And for the look back period, we set it to 68, while for smoothing, we stay at 2, as you have 8. In short, all the arrow and ball indications to avoid confusion. In short, in the interpretations, and so I left only the line with this setting. I'll show it to you again. These are the settings from Friday. Okay? These are the values taken from the minimum value string and the maximum value. Okay, and it goes to draw. Obviously, this line that we say acts a bit like a flip point, in the sense that it is a line that tends to, let's say, divide the market between the bullish side and the bearish side. Not exactly like an average, because in some cases it stops. It depends a bit on how it is set on volatility, obviously, so it follows a little, but you see how when the price goes below it. In short, it works below it as it goes under, or when it then manages to find strength to stay above. In short, movements start, you can use it as a swing for retracements as it was exactly on Friday. In this case here, a beautiful swing, or as it was here, maybe. It will be a bit of a reference because obviously this is Thursday's session and the setting is different. But in short, to make you understand that it can vary. In short, it is certainly different from this if I were to reset it, but not excessively. So it certainly gives us some indications. You see, following the movement. And it can help us in the interpretation along with the set channels here on the daily volume level. Besides this, of course, there is the new version I just released of the BC3.2.0 Indicator, C3.2.0, which certainly provides an additional interpretation. Let's review. Here it is. This, let's say, the new BC3 indicator. In addition to drawing the levels for you, it also plots on the chart these horizontal bands that, and thank you, let's say identify by color for the set color level. They help you identify the maximum, the area, the range in which this BC3 level has developed, which is then signaled to us. So the entire area is absolutely of our interest. For example, this is Friday's day. We are in the weekend where, for instance, all this part in yellow and red is the part of BC3 levels developed on Thursday. So if we were to resume the bar replay from the closing, okay, we start right from midnight, okay, from Friday. Here it is. This is the view you had with these tools available to read Friday's day. Okay, so let's go through it a bit at a time. Let's move one candle at a time. Okay, we see that as the day begins to develop, we see that we are in this range that is currently developing, which is that of the level BC3, which is trapped inside between the levels RD0 and SD0. At this moment, it is the first reference area that we must always look at during the opening. Then it might open below, it might open above, and we will adjust accordingly. But certainly, when the market, let's say, it's normal that there are no gaps, let's say, very large, we can definitely refer to RD0 and SD0 as the first reference range, which then, in this case, with the help of the BC12 indicator, is also easily traced in an even more precise manner. Okay? Perfect. Let's continue. Let's move on. Let's take a little look at the chart. Okay? Perfect. You see that gradually there are two different greens because one is being created from this point. The clear one is from the Thursday closing. And you see how the channel continues to follow, even if perhaps it extends. And if you want, because we are working in the lower part of the channel, you can see it. The VIX indicator continues to follow, so the momentum remains bullish. We are working above the ranges of the two latest BC3 levels. Then, in this case, it made an attempt to break through. It came back in almost as a test. Here is the BC3 level where I paused for a moment to enlarge it for you, a test of the BC3 level with the lower part of the channel. So there could also be a breakout. In short, we can continue to watch. Let's move forward with the chart. There's a breakout. We have right after. Here is the VIX line that was attempted to stop, let's say. It acted as support. The market paused, remained within the channel, then found strength again on the lower band of the channel and climbed back up to make a new high. Here we are now. Around 6 in the morning, a new European Morning Series poll. Obviously, how is the level of the Asian close being formed? you see that it gave us this high around 19,496 and developed in this area here. So there's the wave here. You see how the price returned to retest the level down there, then went to retest precisely the level BC3 of the new range that has been created, which is currently the reference point. Okay. A breakout to the upside should provide continuation. A breakout to the downside could give a continuation to the downside, so much so that we have re-entered. It has referred to a level. So at this moment, our reference is this darker green inside, okay? So we can continue to work on it, always keeping in mind, of course, the levels of the push, because without that, well, we couldn't do anything. But this helps you read the momentum as we are below the line, so there is more of a bearish push at the moment. And in the thank you. Because we are working below, do you see how it returned to retest right from the watershed? And the movement started that led the price to test SDs, which was our reference area. As always, after the opening, the price returned to retest HV from below with an attempt to re-enter HV, which then corresponded exactly to the BC3 level. Do you see this line? I pause for a moment, this darker green line that returned to retest the level from below and then returned. So these are all swings that you can easily make. Let's move on. Do you see that then in this moment, this channel concluded and a new channel is beginning to form. You see here these dashed lines. Because the channel is forming and is still dictating the direction. In short, a bit with a downward trend. In short, we are just before the opening. See how here it practically has always stopped at SD0 and then restarted, which was also the lower part of the Ancholine Reg channel. Okay, see how when things align. In short, the movement is then broader and we even re-entered the range. At this moment, the range is starting to form of opening. And we see it here in a darker shade. Okay? You see how also here, in this case, it served as a beautiful resistance. In this case, the VIX line, okay, which we say is a VIX line that is plotted on the chart through a formula I created to have the VIX value as a reference on the chart. Let's move on. Let's see how. Then the price found strength right at the base of the low. You see how it also came back to retest it a couple of times. These are all volatility shadow smudges. But essentially it remained within this range of the opening, which was a little above. In short, the S level is 0. So then the price went above the VIX. So there was a new tone, bullish. Okay, it found strength. The channel is starting to form upwards. You see how it follows all the swings in this moment. Look how it stopped well. It returned to test precisely the central line of the regression and then continued upwards, going to test the red one, which obviously acts as the first resistance. Important, the price goes back down to test the first level it tested. I pause for a moment. The chart moves too fast. It initially tested the red of 0 and then bounced, but it couldn't go beyond, therefore, beyond this pivot here that had formed and returned to the lower part of the channel, which then corresponded to the part of the VIX. That accompanied the movement. Okay, we had a little further down on the BC3 level, further down we had HW. So we were about to re-enter that range, let's say, of sideways days to then find strength. Again, to break through once more and test RD1. Again, we see it here, for then maybe go back down. Do you see this candle? In short, like the new test anyway, given by 503, 480, with this literal surge of 40 points in less than 5 minutes. still moving forward with the new test below and return to the environment. Do you see how it rests on the upper part of the range that was created previously? Then it slips back inside. It rests right on the BC3 levels on the lower part of the channel, and the upward movement resumes. And these are the situations that you clearly reading the market with this moment, with a bullish interaction, because we are above VIX, because we are working above our D0, which is our reference level as the initial range, RD0, SD0, and so we are working above it. It means there is a more bullish interaction. That is the channel that is accompanying me. This movement, which if you zoom out, has lost a little bit of strength and has increased a bit in width. But look at how well it corresponds in inclination to the rise of that other previous one, which then concluded at 9 in the morning. So here is the validity of this type of setup that I will propose others as well in the days to come. So in this case, let's see how it accompanies us. And so it gave us, let's say, the idea that the market could have a tone more bullish, although not excessively bullish, but in short, the tone was definitely more bullish. Let's look then. We're almost at the end, because then in short, the market has ended. Here we are. In short, we have reached the conclusion. With the market closing above red 1, in short, it gives us hope for the following days in the same way. In the meantime, in short, I was showing you all these things. If we do a recap, maybe starting right from the opening, you can also help yourselves, obviously, with the trend reversal, because it certainly helps you at this moment. You see how, in this case here on this candle, here, the regression has come back up. So if you now focus your attention, I did it subsequently just to make you focus your attention first on one thing and then on the other, then clearly in the operation. You need to be able to balance your gaze and attention between both things. However, even in this case, you see how the regression accompanies the movement. And so it gave us the opportunity, because we were reaching a test. At this moment, we were working below. We reached a test. Well, there was this bullish push that they had found on the SD0 part. And at this level, here on the VIX line, you see how even the linear regression had started to bend to return towards zero, and maybe it could even slip above. Maybe, I don't remember, but here's how it was. Then it found a new reversal. So also the trend reversal helps you, and look how it follows gradually. All of it. See, at this moment, there was a new attempt to go down, then denied. See how the swings also of the trend reversal become less wide, even if it ended up below. But remember that we are always above, thanks to VIX. Then it returns above, here it is, and then gradually accompanies the movement in its various developments, as we saw before. By having it available, you can perform all the back tests. But see how it continues. Following that, there is the new retracement. Here is the lower part, and it follows exactly where the line 0 passes on this candle. So it was telling us that there could be a test of the lower part of the channel. As we saw later, the price bounces, the reversal is there. It starts to accompany the movement again to pass above it. 0. Then there is another retracement. In short, we are almost at the end, but it is certainly another perspective you have at your disposal to accompany you in this ongoing challenge that is the markets. I hope that this video as well is to your liking. Please, as always, leave a like. You are a bit stingy with the video, I must say. Leave a like on the video. As always, we'll talk again. As always in chat. Thank you all for your attention.